We got the giggles.
We got the giggles. Hi, Kevin here from Acclaimed Heating, Cooling, and Furnace Cleaning. We're back with you guys on a Friday Facebook Live.
Why are you so big?
I'm really big. I'm going to sit down like this. I'm going to go like this. And you know what we can do? We can actually go like this, and we can like squish your head.
I don't know. Anyway.
There we go.
Sorry.
You're so
we'll
much
get it
better,
together.
You're so much better looking at me than you need to go forwards, and I'll stay back.
No.
So.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. I'm Tammy Lackey, and we have a weekly Facebook Live, and we're from Edmonton, Alberta, and we're from Acclaimed Heating, Cooling, and Furnace Cleaning, which I'm pretty sure that you already mentioned. Anyway, we usually run our Facebook Lives is that we have a weekly letter that we talk about, a conundrum that someone is facing, writes in a letter, and Kevin gets to answer that question to our viewer about that. Before we hit to that question, it has to do with someone who's got a dryer vent or a dryer issue, and which it is the question we'll get an answer to. We went last week to the vignette design series, which was started on Friday last week, which was wonderful. It was a really cool experience. What would you say? How would you describe that experience?
It was really neat. It's the type of something that I would expect to see in a grungy but artistic community in New York City.
Yeah.
So it's something that Edmonton's not really used to hosting. So it kind of was like 8x8, 10x10 booths that really amazing designers and construction people put together downtown in a really unusual space and totally unique stuff. Paul from Contact had a booth there, and it was almost like a gangster kind of theme with like gold, and it's got like a vault that kind of opens automatically, and just really, really stunning, really creative ideas. So really it's about looking at the hugely creative people that are in Edmonton in terms of what they can do. Yeah,
it was pretty remarkable. It was super trendy, and it felt pretty awesome to be a part of that and see all different gamuts of age, and it was pretty cool to see that. So anyway,
that's great.
Yeah, so we will head to the Facebook Live. You ready for it? The Dear Keven letter.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay. It's signed Caught in Lint, so we'll see how that goes. All right. Dear Keven, I just paid a lot for a dryer repair person to come in and tell me that my dryer is not working because of my plugged dryer vent. I will need to hire your company to come in and clean it. How do I know what signs to look for next time, and how often should I get it cleaned? Signed, Caught in Lint.
All right, that's a great question. We deal with that all the time, and it's actually one of the more dangerous things that we deal with here in the company. And in addition to our experience, which is like so vast, I've been dealing with an appliance repair guy, Mark Smalley from Dufferin Appliance, for years. And Mark's like a vet of like 30 years. Not a vet that does animals, by the way. A veteran of his industry, fixing appliances, dryer vents. And he kind of has the following advice, which jives with what we found over the years as well. Where if you're trying to figure out what's wrong with your dryer, who do you call to fix your dryer, whether it's an appliance repairman or if it is something to do with your dryer vent. Mark said it straight out really easily in terms of turn your dryer on, make sure it's on a setting where you have heat. Most people do have heat running on their dryer when they're using it, but not always. Mm-hmm. Make sure that heat is on, and then feel to make sure that there's some heat going through that dryer. And you can do that a couple different ways. Usually you can't touch the dryer vent on the back side. A lot of times it's not there, it's in a wall. But if you run that dryer for like 10 minutes, open it up, and it's got no heat in it, that's one way of telling. And so if it doesn't have any heat at all, then it's a dryer issue. So
Mark said generally speaking, because there could be a heat element issue that's affecting the dryer.
Yeah, it could be twofold. Mm-hmm. So if there's no heat going from the dryer, it's going to be a dryer issue of some kind, in addition to the possibility that there is a clog there. Yeah. But in any case, an appliance repairman would be the first call to make in that circumstance. And the only wild card there is, did a plugged dryer vent cause it to overheat, which caused the problem that Mark's going there to fix?
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas if there is heat there, but your dryer's not drying your clothes fast enough, so if you're used to drying your clothes in 45 minutes and now it's taking an hour and 15 minutes, now you know it's a dryer vent issue where it's getting clogged up, it's getting restricted, and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's so that will say, and I would have to say, between you and I and nobody listening, I've done this. I had called a repair person about 1.5 years ago because I was sure.
Oh, you're not going to say it.
I am.
No,
I
don't
am.
say it.
I am.
Hey, don't say it, because I get reflected badly here, not you.
No, but it was me. I was just going to decide the dryer wasn't working, and I was called. Our person, Mark, comes in, and he said, it's a dryer vent issue. That was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah, that's at our own house.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
But it's always nice to see Mark, so it does. Anyway, so we are going to include Mark on this post, so you can have his phone number. Mark is a name that we pass around a lot because he's got a cornucopia of skill sets that he can repair many, many, many different types of appliances, and a great person to reach out to get that information, and he can get it to you over the phone, whether or not that is the type of appliance that he spends time with.
Yep, that sounds great.
That's good. And so now, how often should someone get their dryer vent cleaned? Is there any kind of, why is that a hard question?
Well, no, I think that's funny because like you said, it was about 1.5 years before ours at home was like completely clogged.
Yeah.
And our dryer vent is really short and efficient, but we also do a crazy amount of laundry in our house.
Yeah.
So it really varies depending on how much laundry you do in the house. It's kind of like cleaning your furnace filter. The longer your furnace runs, you're going to have to change that filter more frequently. Same with the dryer. If you're using it lots, then you're going to have to get it done more often. But like I was saying earlier, it is the most dangerous thing in your house in terms of accumulating dust and stuff like that, because unfortunately, usually about 6 dryer vent fires create big problems. Condominiums, houses, there's dryer vent fires, which are a big deal, and that's what happens when the dryer vent is dirty.
Yeah, it's a really big deal.
Yeah. So the other thing too, keep in mind, is that when we're in a house to do furnace and duct cleaning, it's really cheap to get your dryer vent cleaned at the same time. And our guys inspect that to see the condition, but that's the time to always look at getting it done.
Absolutely.
You look happy because we probably got furnace and duct cleaning done, and I wasn't doing the dryer vent.
No, you know what, we do a lot of laundry, and we don't have any. We have a dog, Mindy, who does not shed hardly at all, but we have if I had a down quilt that kind of exploded, and so I can imagine that those feathers went through the dryer vent lint catcher and out to the vent, which is probably part of the problem. Yeah,
like it's amazing. People don't realize until they see us cleaning a dryer vent just how much dryer lint goes through that screen. Like most people think that dryer lint screen catches it all, right? And it just does not. And the other thing too is that as soon as some dryer lint starts to get attached to the inside walls, it exponentially gets faster and faster the amount that it builds up and how quickly it builds up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point on that. All right. Well, I think that we touched that one very heavily. It's one of my favorite conversations is the dryer vent.
Yeah.
Because of that. But anyway, that was very good. Thanks so caught in lint. We'll talk to you soon about getting that dryer lint cleaned out of that vent. That'll be awesome. So this weekend, there are some events that are going on around the city. The WinSphere is celebrating their 20th anniversary on Sunday, and they are having a bash. They're doing free tours and cake. It's a family-friendly event from 12:45. Yes, 12:45. It's a strange start time, but that's what it says on their website. 12:45 to 5, and they're doing some tours. And I think it would be, you never look at the building the same way if you've had a tour behind scenes. And it's really, really awesome to take in that site behind the scenes at the WinSphere and be able to then go to an event after and see it with a different light. So that will be great. It's a free event. There's information on this post that will have to the link to the website, and that'll be great to check that out. Crestwood, which is a local community here where we are and get lots of support from, they're having a pop-up market there, and
What is a pop-up market?
Well, you know what? It's basically a craft sale. And locally made handwares. There probably are some just basically local owners of shops and stuff that are putting on either products that they made or are selling. So basically an opportunity for me to buy more things that probably I don't need.
Or gifts.
Get
an early start on your Christmas shopping.
Yes, yeah. So very purposeful Sunday, and their pop-up market is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. So that would be a really nice thing to check out.
Yeah, do you have an address for that?
No.
I do.
Okay.
So where you would be able to find that is 142 Street and about 96th Avenue. That's the area that it's at. It's at the Hall, is that right?
At the Hall. So it'd be like 143 Street.
Yeah, 143, 144 Street. Pretty easy to find. Google Maps, Crestwood Hall. But that's kind of the area of the city that it's in. And, you know, I got to comment on that wind spear. Like, we've now detailed 3 things that are really artsy and crafty and unique. So there's that vignette series, and then there's those unique people at the wind spear who are so artistic they made it at 12:45 instead of 1. And most people have never seen the wind spear. Like the majority of Edmontonians, they've never been there. This is a great opportunity for you to go there. Time flies, 20 years. But when that place was built, it was basically the best acoustical music hall in North America. Like, it was state of the art. It still is state of the art. But when it was built, there was none finer. And you hear that when people are there playing all the time. This is the best sound we've ever had. It's the best venue in terms of what we hear and stuff like that on the stage. So it's a really incredible place. And you're right, different perspective, but it's just a marvel to actually see, even if you never do go to a concert.
Yeah, a great opportunity for the kids to check it out. And we've gone to some concerts that we've had for field trips, and we've sat behind the orchestra and kind of behind the stage. And that perspective is very neat, to have that kind of perspective on such a beautiful venue. And it's great, especially have it free for people to come in. Right. Cupcakes and food and face painting and tours. And we were just talking about, we just went to an event at the Windspear this week. And it's interesting to me that a lot of these new venues, they'll let you have drinks in there. And like the Citadel, they will let you have water and ice cream. Which to me just seems crazy that you would be able to have ice cream in there. Could there be a messier product that you could bring as it drips down your arm onto the seats? But you know what? As I'm eating my ice cream in the Citadel, I am loving that idea. But good for them.
So with the Windspear then, you don't necessarily need to go there for the architecture, choose the hall. You can go there for food and alcohol. Is that right?
Yeah, I actually don't know if you can bring ice cream into the Windspear, but I just love that you can bring the ice cream into the Citadel. Anyway, so that is what's going on this weekend, and I think it's going to be the last weekend we have the wonderful weather of Edmonton. There's up and down, still tomatoes growing on the vines. And I see Derek Flexen that just came on the scene. Hello, Derek. Nice to see you.
It's so cool. Derek checked in. Derek was a technician here at Acclaimed for 10 years before he moved back to Manitoba, and is running the finest duct cleaning operation in Manitoba back there where he's from. So
in Brandon.
Yeah.
And so it's always nice to see him come on the scene. He's a wealth of interesting. He's such a funny guy.
Yeah, he is hilarious.
Yeah, very funny. Yeah. And he was one of the duct cleaners that he and his wife were one of our first employees that we had. And at that point, we had duct cleaners that our shtick was that we put you in a bow tie, a white dress shirt, a bow tie, and then the coveralls.
That's right.
And Derek had the privilege of wearing that wonderful uniform that he loved and adored that outfit, and just every time he put it on, he just thought this was the best idea anybody's ever come up with, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to wear this.
Well, who does not want the opportunity to wear a bow tie to work every day in a very skilled but very, very, not necessarily the cleanest profession, and keep those white shirts white all day. So it was really cool. Yeah,
that was really funny. And he was not unhappy when Occupational Health and Safety thought it would be a bad idea to wear those bow ties so close to moving objects. And anyway,
that's right.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we're going to sign off and enjoy this last weekend of warmth and fall. Hopefully you get some opportunity to play in those colorful leaves. And we will see you next Friday for a weekly Facebook Live. And have a great weekend.
Yeah, enjoy the weather.